Welcome to Fruitful Fridays, and I hope you had a fabulous and fruitful week. We're going to talk about that today. And then we're going to get into spiritual self-care for success. So don't go away. This is very exciting. I'm excited to have you here. I'm excited for anyone that's joining on the replay to listen to this and reap whatever you can. A lot of people are very spiritual, but I just want to shine some light on this. And I know I use this in my practice a lot. This is the Harmony series we're doing, and this is the third part. So before we get into that, let's go ahead and start with how you were fruitful. So how were you fruitful? How was your week? Did you have a good week? Yeah, let me know how you did. Let me know in the comments. You know what? Did you do something that you never thought that you were going to do, or that you were planning on, and finally you got it finished, or you did somebody even to help someone and felt really good about it? Write those down. And when you do that, good morning, Giselle. Great to have you here. Write those down and be grateful for them. Feel that in your heart, because when you're grateful, thank you so much for the hearts. When you are grateful, you will get more of that back. So be filled with love. And let's talk more. Again, when you're intentional, then it gives it energy and you'll get more back. So before I get into the spiritual self-care for success, let's go ahead. And I just want to say, for those who don't know me, I'm Karen Treaster. My company's Never Settle Life Coaching, and I work with people in transition and with divorced women to get whole and thrive using these principles. And when we do, you are able to thrive and just move forward so much easier in the flow. And it's all about finding peace. And so I love working with clients on this stuff. And I'm very partial to this series. So let's go ahead and get started with the spiritual self-care for success. And so this is such an important piece, like I said, of that whole harmony, the cohesiveness, the peace, or whatever you want to call it. Because when you have this, you can do everything and move forward with joy, with confidence. You're more productive, you're more successful. It all just seems to come with ease in every single day. You're able to handle things better, and you're happier. And you're more, the most important thing, you are more successful and more fruitful. And it is sort of sometimes it's a hard concept, spirituality, for people to understand. I know for me, now some people are just very spiritual and they get it and they do it. For me, I honestly never really understood it. I never understood. And I went to church. I don't know if I went to church when I was young. I didn't go so much when I was married. My ex-husband wasn't a churchgoer, and no excuse. However, but I really have to say, I didn't understand the spirituality until 2005. And I went to a T. Harv Eker event, and I've talked about him before. And it was very spiritual. It was very eye-opening for me. And it's where I felt that very first human touch. I was just so touched, and I was just so full of love that weekend. And it made such a difference. And I realized that there was more to me than just me. And so that was just a real eye opener for me. And I've been on my journey really ever since. And I have to say, I do go to church now. However, I've got a whole different outlook on it. So let's get into what I'm going to be talking about are the three key elements that I find for spirituality. And the first element is connection and community. And to access this connection that I was talking about, that human feeling, that love that I had, it was through connection, and it's with your higher self. I pray to God. I have my connection with God. Other people, I'm not pushing religion. You can call it the universe, higher power, higher intelligence, higher, whatever it is to you. It's your higher self, just knowing that there's more. And when you can make that connection, it's where I found out things that I never knew about myself. I found out the truth. It's where all the negative stuff is gone, all the judgment is gone. And it's a place where the lies just don't exist. It's a happy place. That's what spirituality is really about. And what it does is it opens your heart. It opens your heart for love. And if you can do this, imagine this. If you can do this and open yourself up every single day, how great would your day be? And you would just feel, you're going to feel more at peace. You're going to feel like that goodness that you want to spread. And that's where community comes in. You want to talk to other people. You're going to want to talk to other people. Other relationships are going to come easier because your heart is going to be open and you're going to relate to people better. And so in your spouse, your family, your friends, your coworkers, it just all works in synergy when you have this feeling of spirituality. And what I tell my clients is it's your number one job. I believe it's your number one job in the morning to raise your consciousness, to feel that connection. And by feeling that connection, you're not only going to have better relationships with everyone, you're going to feel like you can be more successful because you'll be more productive. You'll have more peace. You'll have more success. And everything, like I said, will just come with ease and no stress. We don't want to live with stress. We want to be more peaceful. And it's crucial moving forward and finding what you want to do, your purpose in all this, being at peace and just receiving, because when you have that open heart and you make that connection, you're number one going to be more willing to receive, because some people have a little resistance. And the other thing is that you are able to receive more. So you are able to be the very best version of you. And everybody wants to have that. We all want a purpose. Everybody has a purpose. Everybody has something. Everybody has a gift. And a lot of times we just don't know because we haven't opened that space up to receive it. And you have to do this on purpose. You have to do this with real intention, and you will receive it. So that's the first element, connection and community. And the second, thank you, Giselle. Thank you for the hearts. So happy to have you here. And the second element is compassion. And so compassion for yourself and others is definitely going to strengthen your spirituality. So let's talk about both. So let's first talk about compassion for others. And the first thing that comes to mind is just put yourself in other people's shoes and notice from their point of view what they may be thinking before you get upset, before you are anxious or may say something that you really didn't mean. Think about from their point of view where they're coming from. You never know what's going on in their day. You never know, what their past is. You don't know what you don't know. And so be compassionate for that. And have patience. Patience is being very spiritual. And this is going to really enable you to have more peace with everything. And I think you will be so much happier with your responses when you are thinking more compassion for everybody else. Another thing is notice when you meet people for the first time, are you judging them? And here's a biggie. Do you compare yourself to other people? Because really, it's about shifting that mentality. Everybody has their gifts. Everybody has their purpose, and they're not what yours is. It's not what you have. And so be grateful that other people are sharing. We don't get everything in life. I wish we did. I wish I could do a lot of things. I wish I could sing. I wish I could do a lot of things. However, I'm grateful. And this is a process that you just learn, and you can come more from a place of love. And think about it, instead of those feelings, when you meet somebody, ask yourself, how can I be of service? How can I be of service to that person? And that's going to change. It's going to shift your whole mentality. And you come from a place of giving. And this is spirituality, and possibilities open up. And you know what? Giving the gift of yourself and time, it just lifts your spirit. And this is real spirituality. When you're caring and you're kind and you're forgiving and understanding, more positive thoughts are going to come to you. You're going to be more grateful. You're going to get more grateful stuff back. Like we talked about in the beginning with acknowledging how you were fruitful too. And the more success you're going to get because you're opened up for it. So let's talk about yourself now. Being compassionate for yourself. And so often a lot of us are people who are very giving and caring, and we do for other people. Yet we forget about ourselves, and we just don't make ourselves top priority, and we don't take the time. So being spiritual is knowing that when you really do take good care of yourself and do self-care practices, that you're going to have greater joy. You're going to have more success because they just go hand in hand. And when you have more success and when you have more joy in all the areas that I have been talking about, and if you missed any of the previous videos, please go back and you can hear those. The first one was self-care for successful mind power. The second one was physical self-care for success, and today is spiritual. Next week is going to be emotional self-care for success. So you don't want to miss any of those. And they really go all together. So let's talk, because when you have all these, you perform better. You're going to do everything with ease. And that's what it's all about, finding the peace. So let's talk about more self-care stuff for yourself. How about noticing your self-talk? How do you talk to yourself? And boy, I am guilty with this. And it's taken me quite a while to get over this because a lot of you know I came out of a divorce. I had very low self-esteem, and confidence, and I did a lot of negative self-talk to myself. And I would go around, oh, that was so stupid, or I can't do that, or I'm just, I'm not smart enough to do that, I'm never going to be able to aspire, and just all these crazy negative thoughts. And I'm not enough, I'm not talented enough. And subconsciously, they are being planted in your brain if you're saying them often, and they come up with everything you do, and they're going to affect your peace. They're going to affect your success, your relationships, and everything. And so one of the things I do in my practice, I've talked about this, is Byron Katie. A lot of you may know who she is. I use some of her questions. She's a well-known author, and she's made a huge difference for people in their lives. And she will ask, is this really true? Is it really true you're not enough? Or is it really true that you can't do it? And when you make that connection, you're going to start getting answers for what you really can do. And that's why I talked about that connection. And then she goes through a series, and I do this with my clients. And the last question is, think about this. Who would you be without that thought? Without that thought that you couldn't do anything, that you weren't enough, that you didn't have this and you didn't have that, and you were comparing to people, who would you be? How exciting is that? And spirituality is a big piece of this. And so I really invite you to look into some of these areas, and it may seem like, oh, it's just one more thing to do, but it's really going to help with everything in your life. And another thing, exercise. Exercise is going to take time for yourself. Take time to pamper yourself. Take time to relax. Call a friend. Do something good for you, and have fun. And that's one of the things I'm trying to do right now, is to have more fun. And I find when I have more fun, more things come to me. Isn't that funny? So go out and do something fun. And it'll actually put you at ease and put you in a better spot. And here's another thing, say no. Sometimes we just have to say no to people. And you've probably heard this before, but no is a complete sentence. You know in your heart what you need to do. And trust that. Trust your instinct. And that's key. And another thing, another self-care practice is to have a routine every single morning. And so I will do this connection that I have. I read positive books, whether it's journaling, exercising, doing affirmations, whatever it is, be consistent with that. Because when you do this, you can let go of control and enjoy that resistance that you have, and enjoy the peace and wisdom that comes from the intuition which spirituality provides. So that's number 2, is the compassion, being compassionate with yourself. And the third element, let's get right into that, is it's so big because by not having this, all the other things really are for naught. And so, and actually this is a progression. So people don't have it right away. So I shouldn't say for naught, because all those things I think maybe lead to this is a better way of putting this. Belief. When you can really, really believe in your heart that there is something bigger than you. And that weekend is what opened it up for me. There's something more. There's something more than just living day to day with all the negative stuff and being affected by your circumstances. There's something more than that. And that's the exciting part for you to discover. And it really does take the letting go of resistance, allowing yourself to tap in to that higher self, that higher knowing intelligence, God, the universe, source, some kind of belief. And when you feel that, there's just so much intelligence beyond what we can ever imagine. And this is what spirituality is all about, opening your heart to find your truth and your possibilities and living your passion, living your purpose, and having more love to receive, having more love to give to others in community. And so often clients will say to me, I don't have a purpose. And I touched on this a little bit before. And it's just really, it's not that you don't have a purpose. We all have a purpose. Maybe it's just to be kind, to bring joy to other people. We all have this. You may not have recognized it yet. And being open to receive it is what the key is. And when you find this, I heard somewhere that purpose is the opposite of depression. So when you can find your purpose, your passion, it's going to just bring a light to you where you feel different, you act differently. And really your success is going to be so much more. And it's going to be fulfilling, because I believe that's why we're here. We're here to be fulfilled. And the only way we can get fulfilled is with our purpose. And that's what I work with clients on too, is finding that. And whether you may be in another job, but it doesn't mean that you can't still go after your purpose. You can do anything you want. And so some ways that I have talked about before to connect are meditation. I'm big on that. And it doesn't have to be a full-blown, I don't sit down for very long. Sometimes it's just a few minutes in the morning for me connecting. For me, it's connecting with God or source, the universe, whatever it is. You believe whatever you believe. And this is what's going to bring that. It's such a big part of that harmony. So meditation, go on a nature walk. I know, for me, when I was married, I used to go in the woods with my dog. And this actually was a place for me to connect. It cleared my head. And that's what it's all about. It's, another thing I wanted to mention too, it's about clearing your head. Clearing your space in your home, I wanted to mention too, is huge. I talked about that in the physical self-care last video, because clearing the space around you is going to clear your brain. So anything you can do, people ask me, well, how do I do it? Well, what works for you? Different things work for people. I've heard some people are in a car and they can get really quiet with themselves when they're driving. And, maybe they don't, they're still paying attention, hopefully, but they get thoughts. Some people in the shower, people do it in different places. And wherever your quiet place is, go to it every single day and raise your spirits, raise your energy, raise your consciousness every single morning. And this is such a big part of the harmony puzzle, bringing more peace, more happiness, more joy, and success in life is is being spiritual. And it's such, for me, has been such a big part of my personal and my business. So what it's done is given me strength. It's given me clarity. It's given me the will that I can do it. And you can do it too. You can do it. And this is what I want to leave you with. And remember, do what you can today. Forget about yesterday. Forget about tomorrow, because there's nothing we can do about that. Be where you are today and get done what you can. And it's going to take that anxiety away. I had really bad anxiety, and this was huge for me. And so this is what I want to say. If you want to find out more about me, go to my website. It's neversettlelifecoaching.com. I've got a course on there. I've got one-on-one coaching. I'm also offering a 45-minute discovery call where I'm going to give you ideas and for you, specifically for you. So if you want to take advantage of that, please do. And I just hope you all have and thank you for the hearts, Giselle. Anybody, if you like or love this, please give me a heart. This is what keeps me going and allows it to be shown to other people who may need it. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate you. And I hope you have a fabulous Friday, a fabulous weekend, and a very fruitful week. And I'll be back next week with emotional self-care for success. Bye-bye, everybody. Have a great day.